Okay, I believe we can start, right, Başak Hanım?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Welcome, guys. So this is Özgür Barış Akan. I'm the Director of Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering and also Dean of the College of Engineering. So welcome to the virtual open day for the professional master's programs at Koç University. And also, again, welcome to the Graduate School of Sciences and Engineering related professional master's programs. So I have two of my colleagues who are the leading professors of these two programs. One being a Master of Science in Data Science, and the other one is Master of Science in Cybersecurity. Obviously, these two fields are quite fundamental to the current technology and the future of the human lives. No need to go into details why data is important. It's quite obvious, but I'm sure my colleagues, Professor Barış Akgün and Professor Abdülkerim Küpçü, will be elaborating all these in detail, why data is important, and we need to really do the science of it. And it's very good idea to master yourselves at this very exciting field so that you can call yourself as the master of the data science. And then once you are at top of being a master of data science, another major issue is how to protect data when you generate it, when you store it, when you communicate it. That's another hugely important area, fundamental area, and that will be provided, that will be discussed by my colleague, Professor Abdülkerim Küpçü, Master of Science in Cybersecurity program. So all these two programs are especially extremely important. After a certain background, if you would like to be, on top of these fields, we strongly encourage you to, pursue these two programs. So without further taking your time, I will pass the floor to my colleague, Professor Barış Akgün, for Master of Science in Data Science. I'll be around. We'll be happy to answer your questions about these two programs and in general about the Graduate School of Science and Engineering and Koç University. Again, welcome to the session and hope you will enjoy it and all the best. So Barış Hocam, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Özgür Barış Hocam. As our Dean, Özgür Barış Hoca, mentioned, I'm going to start talking about Master of Science in Data Science and the program coordinator. So let's start with why studying data science. So we are generating unprecedented amounts of data each year. So the growth of data growth is actually exponential. We've generated more data in 2 days in 2017 than all of 2002, and it's even much more nowadays. On the other hand, the challenges that our world faces are also becoming unprecedented, like global warming or more quality of life inventions such as autonomous driving, or health-related issues like cancer detection, or dealing with huge amounts of data that we create both in or mainly in biology and astronomy. So, of course, there are other more industrial problems. We'll get to those, but you can actually use data science skills to attack grander challenges as well. So at Koç, we strive to let you develop skills necessary to make sense of all of this data and address the challenges, whether it be like these grand challenges of humanity or in your professional lives as well, in a broad spectrum of application domains. So why study data science at Koç? We want to take a holistic view. A lot of data science education, if you go abroad, it's more, I think, too practical oriented, which is not future proof because this field academically is changing so fast. What you know today will be obsolete in 2-3 years. Instead of only showing you practical side of things, we also want you to show you theoretical foundations, so that when the techniques evolve and new things come, you will be ready to adapt and be one step ahead of your other colleagues, so to say. And within this data science program, we will focus on data processing, data analysis, machine learning, and sometimes overlooked but extremely important in professional settings, data visualization and reporting. On top of this, of course, we need machines to make sense of all of this data. We can do it by pen and paper. We will teach you computational skills. They will be mainly in Python programming languages, but you will also have a chance to learn R if you go more into the statistical computation direction, and also Julia, which is poised to become a very popular programming language within the next decade. On top of these, of course, the main parts of the non-thesis program is to give you, to let you gain practical experience in multiple different application domains. We never forget that, like that's the, we know that's your immediate goal. So we both want you to be prepared short-term and long-term. On top of that, we are a very research-heavy university. Our faculty does world-class research. However, we also have a lot of industry applications of these as well. Especially in Istanbul, our companies are very competitive. Also want to stay ahead of the curve, and they come to our professors for help. As such, our professors gain both research and practical experience. I will talk more about this towards the end of this talk. Sometimes, however, you may want to have more specialized directions, like you may want to work on distributed systems, or specifically natural language processing, or computer vision, or biology, or even like supplement some other, let's say, industrial engineering applications like optimization, machine learning. We have a very diverse pool of elective courses which will let you do that. Like on top of specializing for, on top of getting the general idea, you can pick a topic and specialize, or you can pick more general or more applicable electives. Again, we will talk about it. We also have, I don't want to say thanks to the pandemic, but it's because of the pandemic. We've invested a lot in our infrastructure, so you can gain your degree fully online if it's required. You don't have to come to campus. Of course, we prefer you coming to campus. We prefer to meet you in face-to-face, hopefully after this pandemic. But we have the infrastructures you don't such that you wouldn't need to do it. This doesn't mean you will never interact with professors. On the contrary, you will have more flexibility in meeting them through online meetings, such as using Zoom or not. And of course, finally, you will have the name recognition of Koç University, which is both applicable in Turkey and abroad. Okay, so let's get to more nuts and bolts stuff. By YÖK regulations, you have to finish in 3 semesters and take a total of 30 credits, which amount to 10 4-credit courses. You only have 2 required courses for you to take: Introduction to Computational Science, which is an Python programming course. If you can provide or show us your proficiency, we can waive this. Second one is Introduction to Machine Learning. It's a very fundamental intro. It is both theoretical and practical with labs. It's a very good course, which leaves you with 8 elective courses in all of our departments. I'm not exaggerating, other than medical school that has some special requirements. But still, you can take some courses from medical school, like biostatistics, of course, not anatomy. You'll have access to many different elective courses from a very wide range of fields. On top of these, you will need to take seminar courses, an academic writing course, an academic ethics course, and finally, a master's project where you will need to complete a serious real-life problem from start to finish, and guided by our professors. By the way, somebody raised a hand. We are taking questions at the end through chat. Please don't forget your question. Okay, so I said, we have many elective courses. Like we couldn't fit them in, multiple slides. So I'm just going to put the main ones here. And this is an active list. Like we have we are ever growing new faculty keep joining us, and this it's actually relatively difficult to keep this fully up to date. But when you come, we will have this. But this should, however, give you some perspective. If you look at it, we have a lot of machine learning related courses, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, autonomous vision, which is perception or vision for autonomous cars, reinforcement learning. On top of this, if you want to also go a bit more into the architecture or data engineer side, we have distributed systems, parallel programming. If you want to go more in industrial engineering side, we have decision analysis, dynamic programming. You may want to apply your skills in financial industries or economics. We have related courses from both business administration and economics. I mean, maybe you never think about it, but refineries, for example, create immeasurable amount of data. We also work with Tüpraş. So if you want to go in that direction, or if you want to go in the energy field, which also requires a lot of data scientists, we have some courses from chemical and biological engineering, or you may want to be working on the new generation user interfaces or a new generation user experience. We have related courses such as interactive information design or intelligent user interfaces. Again, if you go over this, this will never end. So I'm moving on. Requirements. You can easily and for free go to the link provided. I want you to upload your resume or CV, your statement of purpose, 2 recommendation letters, but this means emails of 2 referees. You don't have to upload the recommendations, but we will ask you to upload your official transcripts from your universities that you attended. We require a language exam given in the slides. However, we don't require an LS or GRE. But if you have to help you, please provide them, because they might increase your chance of getting in. And we do rolling deadlines, rolling admissions. Whenever you submit, we take a look at it within a few weeks, and you'll receive your answer within 3 to 4 weeks. Career opportunities. Oops. Let me directly jump to this first, and then I'm going to show you the other one. So currently, a lot of industries are looking for data scientists. Like I can tell you, like every semester, 4 or 5 companies send an email to me. Hey, do you have talented students that are graduating? They say, okay, even part-time, like your senior students or grad students, and they have a very diverse origins. Like e-commerce companies, obviously, due to pandemic, they grow a lot, and they have a lot of resources to hire a lot of people. And in fact, they've been hiring a lot of data scientists and computer engineers in general. Banking sector, they have data, and they've been doing data science since 1980s. They want to stay up to date with the latest developments. They are hiring. As you know, we formed an AI lab thanks to the generous donation of İş Bankası. They have a large AI group. Financial technology companies, in addition to banks, they're looking for data scientists. Digital advertising, automotive sector, both in the manufacturing side and autonomous driving or driver assist side. Smart home appliances, getting more intelligence into, for example, your washing machine that will detect how dirty your clothes are using machine learning, for example, and provide your programs accordingly. Startups, both directly, startups to do data science, to give consulting to other companies, or they have a product that might benefit from data science, such as like you've seen the scooters. I'm sure, like how should you distribute the scooters? That's a data problem, for example. Manufacturing, how you do it better. Energy, can you predict how much wind you will have or how much power you will generate tomorrow? Based on that, you can make money, and people are hiring. That's I can go more and more over all of this, but I think I should stop. There is definitely a shortage of data scientists, and due to this, people hire with comparatively higher salaries than a regular engineer. So I think like now data scientists are making more than entry level. Well, what happened? Entry level backend developers. Somebody drew on my slide, but whatever. Okay. So just to give an example, we had a machine learning summer school 2 years ago, and these were our sponsors. If you look at this, there's banks, electronics or consumer electronics company, tourism companies, e-commerce consultants, appliance manufacturers, retail, startups, etc., etc. So this is just a snapshot, and I'm not intending to promote any company, but these companies became our sponsors so that they are known that they do data science, machine learning, and they're interested in this. With that, I think I can stop now and leave the floor to my colleague, Dr. Küpçü. And if you have any questions, I think we'll answer all of them after Alptekin Hoca's presentation.
Thank you, Professor Akgün. Let me. Is the screen visible, full screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Well, Alptekin Hocam, since it's also in your slides, I didn't talk about the tuition. So if you mentioned that at the end, so I left that to you.
Sure. So indeed, some of the common parts will be very similar, so we can remember those for those who were already here, or for those who just joined. You can also learn some common parts with data science, but we are going to talk about cybersecurity. So first of all, what is cybersecurity? Cyber is any action taken using computers and computer networks, and cybersecurity is, of course, the security of all these. And globally, according to worldwide reports, there are more than 4 million open cybersecurity expert job positions. So it has very high prospects of finding a job. It's a high demand. Indeed, if you look at the companies, so these are cybersecurity expert positions, more than 4 million. But there are also cybersecurity top positions like Chief Information Security Officer, and more than half of the companies worldwide employ such top cybersecurity officers. So, okay, you want to pursue a career in cybersecurity. Why do it at Koç University? Because we have more than 10 years of experience in both education and research, and it is cutting edge and world class. So you can check our publications, our courses, etc. They are all in world class venues designed with world class, let's say, curricula. So when you study cybersecurity at Koç University, you will learn both theoretical and practical aspects of cryptography, cryptology, computer networks, operating systems, things such as software engineering, cloud systems, distributed systems, artificial intelligence and machine learning with their essentially intersection with cybersecurity, their usage in cybersecurity and vice versa, and even things from the business perspective, such as risk analysis, strategic planning, and law and regulations, such as, for example, GDPR, KVKK, the privacy-related regulations, for example. You will be able to cover all these different aspects of cybersecurity. The degree requirements are actually very
Excuse
similar.
me, Hoca, I only see your cover slide. I don't know if it's the same for other people.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
I was expecting it to change, but looks like.
So I guess there is a Zoom issue. Let me try to reshare
Okay.
if it will help.
Yes, we can see it now.
Still why study at Koç University, or is it showing degree requirements?
That's on slide 3. Why study cybersecurity at KU?
Okay, so this means I have to change slides like this each
Right.
time. Sorry. Okay. So the degree requirements are very similar because this 30 credit 10 courses essentially is a national requirement. And for cybersecurity, we again have 2 required courses. One is computer and network security, the other is modern cryptography. One will give you the practical, let's say, aspects of computer and network security, the foundations, and the modern cryptography will give you some of the theoretical aspects. And indeed, as a cybersecurity expert, you need to use cryptographic tools properly. So these 2 are the foundational courses. This is why they are required. But we have many elective courses, some cybersecurity specific courses that I will briefly mention in a few minutes, and courses from, for example, computer science, electrical and electronical engineering, industrial engineering, mathematics, as we said, even law school and business school. And this program, this curriculum indeed, is designed, as we said, as a world-class interdisciplinary program following the cybersecurity educational suggestions from the ACM, the Association for Computing Machinery, the largest, let's say, as you see, the red ones are the cybersecurity specific courses, software engineering related secure software coding and testing, contemporary topics such as blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and as we said, even the law and regulation aspects, in addition to other elective courses that you can take in different fields, for example, things such as distributed systems, machine learning, algorithm design, other wireless.
Tekin Hocam, I think you froze.
Let's say
I'm
communications and
losing
so
your
on. So
voice,
many.
Hocam. Yeah. I cannot hear you. I believe you're saying something, but I cannot hear you, Hocam. I feel
Perhaps
like
we have been hacked. Talking about cybersecurity.
yeah.
Okay.
Back.
So do you see the application requirements now? No one?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it any better? So these cybersecurity and data
Right.
data science non-thesis master's programs. Very simple. For Koç University, Koç, provide your resume or CV, a statement of you need to upload all examination scores. And indeed, because of the COVID-19 situation, we know you are facing difficulties. So what we are offering during this time is that we accept applications at any time, and we will get back to applications within roughly 1 month. So instead of having hard deadlines, you can apply anytime. If you apply early, you will get an early answer. If you apply late, you will get a later answer. So if you are decided, indeed, we suggest that you apply soon. The tuition for these non-thesis programs, both cybersecurity and data science, are for Turkish students in Turkish liras, for international students in US dollars, roughly the same amount. So you can see it here. If you see the last slide, so essentially, let's say, okay, you decided to pursue this career at Koç University, you applied and you got accepted. So what can you do after graduation? Indeed, as we already mentioned in the beginning, every company needs cybersecurity experts, and there are many job positions that are to be filled worldwide. Where can you work at? You can work at many different companies, for example, software companies. But they don't have to be software companies. You can work at consulting companies, Internet of Things, Internet of Everything vendors, maybe hardware companies, banks, financial institutions, multinational giants, such as, let's say, Google, Microsoft, Uber, whatever you want to call, medical device producers, retailers, healthcare producers, law firms, all different types of, let's say, companies are in need of cybersecurity experts. And they really need cybersecurity experts because most of these problems are caused through, let's say, uneducated development. So I hope that you could hear most of what I said. And if you have questions, I guess now this is a good time to continue with them.
Thank you, Alptekin Hocam. Thank you very much, Barış Hocam. I think some of the questions have already been answered, but I'll try to go over and see where the first one is unanswered. Try to take it. Başak Hanım, if you can pinpoint any outstanding question, the first one.
I will do that. I also answered some of them privately.
Yeah.
I think there's a question for İngilizce yeterlilik QEP sınavı sayılıyor mu TOEFL instead of TOEFL?
QEP is, I mean, that's for the undergrads. That's quick answer is no. Okay. But at the same time, it was mentioned by Başak Hanım in the introductory session as well. If you do not have this sufficient English proficiency at the time of the application, no worries. If all the other credentials that you provide are fine, then you may receive conditional acceptance. So that would be an answer to QEP, Koç University Proficiency Exam, is not sufficient for a graduate program. So question from Çağrı has been answered about ALES. ALES in general is not mandatory. If we feel like your background is not sufficient, then we may require that, but it's not mandatory as it's been mentioned in the introductory session. So what else here? Again, yeah, go ahead, Başak Hanım.
burslar, that we have scholarship questions. I think the international students should really go to the international student session for
Exactly.
funding opportunities for scholarship session. And for
Exactly.
Turkish students, I mean, we have very limited scholarships, but we encourage you to apply. And then, you know, we will continue our conversation, you know, after your application has been evaluated.
Right. There is one question, Reyhan, is asking if there's any limit, any minimum GPA requirement. There is no such specific requirement. We look into the applications or applicants' credential in a holistic manner. So there is no such uh, limit, minimum limit for GPA. So that's a quick answer. Ege is asking about the in-class activities and projects, if they're suitable for employed persons. And I think I've seen similar questions along these lines. In fact, these two programs are specifically designed for those who are employed. I mean, it's not targeting only employed persons, but employed persons, I mean, full-time employed persons. I'm sure there are many of them among the audience right now. They will have no problem in attending the classes. All the classes will be available fully online, synchronously, real time, as well as for consuming them afterwards in an asynchronous manner. So I think I've seen one question, and this one as well, asking for attendance. There is no such written attendance requirement which will be counted towards the grades that you will obtain at the end of the course. Obviously, being able to attend the courses real time is much more advantageous, so that you can ask questions real time to the professors who are actually delivering the lecture, right? But it may not be always possible. So you may, watch the content later on, but you can send your questions again to the professors. So in short, again, they're suitable. There will be, in some courses, there will be obviously some laboratories and projects which may require you to attend real time. But that's always the case. I mean, in any program, that's always the case, right? But other than that, it is definitely suitable for full-time employed persons. So no problem about that.
Okay.
And the next one is about from Han Keçeli. Could you tell the laboratories, hardware, equipment, like the number of GPUs, their models? Maybe Barış Hoca can elaborate on that. We have also quite related, yeah, sorry, Barış Hoca, just let me give you a pointer so that you can pursue that path. We have a very well-equipped research center, artificial intelligence research center, and Barış Hocam is a full member of that research center, which was established by Koç University and the top-ranking bank in Turkey, which is İş Bankası. Those from Turkey know very well. And I think the best cluster, high-performance cluster in Turkey have been established at Koç University in this AI center. So they will be also available. But I'll just pass to Barış Hocam, so that's his domain.
Sure. I mean, we have a cluster with 50 nodes, like with 153 GPUs. 80 of them are T4s and 36 of them are V100s. That should give you an idea. And of course, the processors and the RAM are sufficient to support these. We are not using Spark because, you don't need Spark. Anything with Spark. We have other distributed computing mechanisms whenever we need. I mean, I don't know if you'll ever install cluster-wide Spark. I don't think so, because we are not a company. We don't need that, and that would actually be but it's pretty good. The thing is, that's mainly for research. you will most likely be allowed to use them during some of your courses and your final projects. However, you will probably not be able to use them on your own time, or you may need to decide on what to do. But for coursework and for your final projects, you will be able to use it. And if that's not sufficient, we also provide cloud support through Amazon, Google, or Azure services. So computation-wise, you will not have a problem if you have an internet connection, of course.
So there's a question, do I need to speak the Turkish language? I can say no, you do not need to speak the Turkish language to be part of this program. And we will be sharing this session video with all of you in a couple of days. So you will have the presentations and the videos. Let me see if there are other.
How many people are selected? Obviously, the number of seats available is as always limited in any program that you can think of. And as Abtekin Hocam mentioned at the end of his talk, we perform rolling basis admission. So in fact, we review the applicants in batches at the end of every 2 weeks. But the time it takes for you to receive the notification is around 2 to 3 weeks. At most 1 month, you will clear out the decision of your applications. But we cannot give you, exact number of slots yet. But it's always the case; it's limited.
And we have actually started accepting applicants. I mean, we've already started sending out some acceptance.
Yeah. Yeah. So once it's full, then we will. We may close the close receiving the applications. Who will be selected? Maybe I can speculate or elaborate on that. It's a very good question. We do not have, for those 2 programs, we do not have any specific background requirement. So in other words, to be more specific, you don't have to be holding a BS degree in, let's say, computer science or electrical engineering or any other engineering degree. You may be graduate of, I don't know, statistics or mathematics or even economics or any other discipline. We look at your credentials, and if we feel like your background is sufficient, then we conclude your application process in a positive way. If you feel like you may need some additional background, then we may recommend you to take some additional courses, like preparatory courses to warm you up. But if you feel like your background, your credentials is not sufficient for you to successfully pursue these programs, then we let you know that unfortunately this is the outcome of the admission process. So there is no such exact written set of rules so that could be applied to any applicant and then get the decision out. So we look at the applicant's credentials in an entirety. Abtekin Hocam, Barış Hocam, and Başak Hanım, please feel free to jump in because I may lose the track. Naz asked, about the full-time employee. We said, okay, no problem with that. When will be these lessons? Whenever they're scheduled, obviously, throughout the week. We do not have, evening or late evening lectures, but some of them might be, close to evening. I'm talking about the only real-time versions. Obviously, but as I've said at the beginning, so you can attend, you can consume those content whenever you are available.
And somebody asked how we notify applicants about their status, and we send an email.
Right.
Yes.
Can apply without GRE. Yes, you can apply. There is nothing. I mean, you can send your application in. In case we may need that, your application may be considered as a conditional outcome. If it is going to be positive, it might be conditional acceptance. So if you don't have any GRE result yet, I'm talking about international applicants, don't worry about it. Feel free to send your application in. But for those who are international applicants and who have specific questions for international cases, as Başak Hanım said, please attend the session related to your cases. Okay. Yunus, there is that this count, or carrying out your scholarships at Koç University during your undergraduate degrees as a Koç University alumni, but you can send us an email explaining your graduation year, etc., so that we can get back to you with more specific answer.
Yeah. I will be writing the email here, so in the chat.
Right.
Any questions you can send there.
Right, Ezgi's question has been answered, I believe. If not, feel free to reiterate. You can do it entirely remotely, Ezgi, so there's nothing wrong with that. Right, there's already answer, sorry. Barış Hocam already answered that. Thank you.
There's like somebody asked whether having a master's in computer engineering helps. It would help. Of course, we can't say it will guarantee it, but it will definitely help. The courses we showed are from our regular program, so you can take them if you're accepted as a thesis student, but being accepted as a thesis student is a whole different thing than this, with different requirements both for entry and exit. So and it's not for professionals, it's for academics, and it's strictly academic, and it's competitive, and we only take in relatively few students for thesis programs. Somebody asked about bachelor's, like Yuri Minyor. If you have taken any course in your bachelor's, and if they counted towards your bachelor's degree, you can't have them counted for your master's degree. That's regulation of the country, and even if I think we would stick with that, but even if that wasn't the case, the last part of your question, in case you have a course where we counted towards your degree, that we'll need to talk with school. So I don't have that answer with me right now. The last part of your question, Yuri. So another thing, as Başak Hanım said, please ask, if you're an international student, please ask about scholarships at the international session. There will be more information there. Yeah.
If you have any questions later on after we are finished here, please feel free to send an email. We will get back to you in a timely manner. And if we have more info sessions, we will let you know. But if you have specific questions also about the status of your application, you can send an email and we will let you know.
But one thing, we go over each application, so don't think we forget about you. If we may miss something in your application, if you think you are wrongly rejected for some reason, try to contact us. We are human, we can make mistakes as well. but we go through it. And the main decisions, this is not like an easy program, since you need to pay, and it's not like just I pay and I get the degree. It's a rigorous program, and we try to select students who we believe can successfully finish. But if you think our judgment was wrong, please contact us.
There's a question about recommendation letters, if it makes any difference if you get them both from the place you work at versus a professor from the university. I think somebody who really has a chance to get to work with you and know you would be a good reference writer. I'll leave that also to
one thing, if you are from a different field, let's say, I don't know, economics, or maybe even more different than CS, perhaps having a professor who has seen your technical side would benefit. Otherwise, I agree with Başak Hanım. Like it needs to be somebody that knows you. However, under certain edge cases, you may need an academic person. But again, these are all case-by-case things. If you think you can handle it, if you have the degree, two from companies should be fine. So Zora, as said, we over applications every 2 weeks, but it might take us 4 weeks to get to you. So if you applied 2 weeks ago, wait 2 more weeks, and then we'll give you the response.
So you'll probably hear very
shortly. And if you have
shortly.
further questions,
the recorded session will be sent to you on the email address that you registered for this webinar. Okay. I think we are done with the questions.
Right. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for attending. Hope it was informative to you, and hope we will see you around with your applications and with positive decisions, and hopefully in our classrooms, in our lectures, starting next fall. Feel free to reach out to us, myself, Barış Hocam, Alptekin Hocam, and Başak Hanım, and through the email that Başak Hanım provided, pmp@ku.edu.tr. And I wish you all the best in your applications, and stay safe and sound until we hear from you next time. Have a good weekend. Not weekend yet, but evening for tonight, and weekend for the coming one. Bye, guys.
Okay. Thank you.
everybody,
Hey, everyone.
thanks for coming, and hope to see you soon.